Logan the Layman Critic here. Today we're reviewing Top Gun Maverick. It's a 2022 film directed by Joseph Kosinski and stars Tom Cruise. Let's talk movies. Captain Pete Mitchell, aka Maverick, is ordered to return to Top Gun Naval School to train fighter pilots for a near-impossible mission. As Maverick struggles to prepare them for what's to come, he attempts to reconcile with Rooster, a pilot and the son of his late friend and comrade, Goose. Now, I'll be upfront and honest, I'm not any huge fan of the original Top Gun. I appreciate it for its technical achievements with how it filmed fighter craft, and it's certainly a staple of pop culture. But it was always one of those movies where the appeal was sort of lost on me. It's like The Goonies or The Princess Bride. Sure, I don't hate it, but I'm not blown away by it either. But I was interested in seeing how the material would be explored further after 36 years. Now, I can't speak for everyone, but I think it's safe to say that the wait has paid off. I had a great time watching this movie. Tom Cruise makes his return to the role of Maverick look as if it's effortless. He's still charming, self-assured, reckless, and that's exactly what has kept him from moving up in the Navy. But that's just how he likes it. He's a pilot, and he can't live without being in the cockpit. But the loss of his friend Goose has made him a little more cautious. Which brings us to Miles Teller as Rooster, Goose's son. Teller does a good job echoing the look and manner of Anthony Edwards' character from the original, and he does so without it feeling too on the nose or corny, although I think the mustache is a bit ridiculous. No one from this generation has that kind of mustache, unless they're being ironic. But Rooster does differ from Goose in terms of his personality. He's got a burden on his shoulders, wanting to prove himself, wanting to be worthy to take lead, and wanting to rub that in Maverick's face. He hates Maverick, and he blames him for his father's death, to say nothing of hindering his own naval career. And that relationship between the two of them makes for good drama, and you can easily understand where both men are coming from. Jennifer Connelly plays Penny, who was an old girlfriend from Maverick's past, and this is where the movie stumbles, in my opinion. I don't have an issue with Jennifer Connelly's performance. She's a perfectly competent actress. The problem is with the script. We have no established history to build off of, and not enough is given for the audience to buy into their rekindled romance. It all feels contrived. And piggyback onto that, my other issue is the total lack of any mention of Charlie, Maverick's love interest from the original. Now, I get that Kelly McGillis is kind of doing her own thing these days, and maybe they didn't want to bring her back because, well, let's just say she hasn't quite aged as gracefully as Tom Cruise. But, I mean, come on. No reference whatsoever. I mean, that relationship was one of the main arcs of the first movie. They probably spent more time on the romance than they did on the aircrafts. The other pilots, they're all well performed, each with their own quirks and personalities. They're not quite as memorable as the original's supporting cast, but they get the job done. Oh, and I should make mention that Val Kilmer makes an appearance as Iceman. And it's only a brief scene together, but his character, he's an important part of the plot, and it's very touching to see him sit down with Maverick for a heart-to-heart. I really miss seeing Val Kilmer, so I was happy that they included him in the sequel. But this is a Top Gun movie, so I'm guessing you're interested in the flying and dogfights. And, well, they look fantastic. We've got Imax cameras to take it to the next level, and it allows for new angles to shoot from and maximize the excitement. And you get unique positions from inside the cockpit or underneath the belly or the aircraft, the close-ups of the armament. And because technology has advanced in warfare since 1986, we get to see new training exercises showing simulations. And the movie squeezes as much out of those flight scenes as it can, and it builds up that tension, and that clock is ticking down to mission time, so it's really coming down to the wire. And when it finally does get to that climax, you'll find yourself multiple times being surprised that it's not over yet. I mean, it builds on one situation after another, and it does pay off. My one minor criticism is, so there's a scene with the mission briefing, and it feels awfully similar to the Death Star briefing from Star Wars. And when you watch the movie, you'll likely know what I'm talking about. The Top Gun Maverick, it tells a good story. It has solid performances. The action is executed to perfection. It's a worthy sequel to an iconic film. And I highly recommend watching this on a big screen for the optimal viewing experience, so get out there while it's still in theaters. Until next time, guys.